Have you heard the term marriage value when it comes to property? If you own a flat with a short lease, it's not just a fancy phrase, this is a financial bombshell waiting to happen if you don't understand it. Imagine owning something that dramatically increases in value, but you have to pay a huge chunk of that increase to someone else. That's exactly what marriage value can feel like. Stick around because knowing this could save you thousands. Will cover what marriage value is, how it's calculated, and most importantly, how you can help minimize it. Hey everyone, I'm Josh from Short Lease Property Sales. We are the estate agency specializing in flats with short leases. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into this crucial concept that impacts every short leaseholder, marriage value. It's often misunderstood, sometimes overlooked. You may not even be aware of it yourself, but it is absolutely critical when you're looking to extend your lease. If you're thinking about selling, if you're thinking about buying a flat, you will want to know about this. Equally, if you're just looking to stay in your home, it can impact you quite significantly as well. So what is marriage value? In simple terms, it's the extra value that's created when you extend a short lease. It's effectively marrying the interests of your freeholder and you as a leaseholder back together. We think of it like this. To start with, you have a short lease. This is less valuable because it's running out. The freeholder owns what's called the reversionary interest. This is the right to get the property back when your lease expires. After you've extended the lease, you're now making it obviously longer and therefore a more valuable asset for you. The property is now worth significantly more on the open market as well. And that increase in value isn't just yours for the taking, unfortunately. The law states that this uplift in value has to be shared between you, the leaseholder, and the freeholder. And it's going to be a 50-50 split of that newly created value. Now, there's a point where this gets really important, and that's because marriage value only comes into play when your lease drops below 80 years. Just repeating that, that's 80 years. This is the magic number, or if you think about it from the other side, the danger zone, the edge of the cliff you don't want to go over. If your lease is 80 years or more and you want to extend the lease, then you don't pay any marriage value when you extend. Therefore, your premium, the amount you pay for a lease extension, will be significantly lower. But the moment that lease drops under 80 years to 79 years and 364 days, all of a sudden marriage value kicks in. And suddenly you're on the hook for that extra 50% share of the uplift in value. And just to give some context to this, in some cases, I've seen marriage value payments alone, that's aside from the rest of the lease extension premium, of over 6 figures. That's money out of your pocket that you maybe could have avoided. So you might be thinking, I own my flat. Why do I have to pay this? It's my property. It's a fair question. Marriage value exists because the law acknowledges that by extending your lease, you're removing the freeholder's reversionary interest. That is valuable to them. That's their future right to the property. You're eventually creating a more valuable asset for yourself out of their interest in the property. So think of it as compensation for the freeholder losing their future claim and for the enhanced value your property now has on the market. You might say, is that fair? Is it not? And it's currently being reviewed, but that's how it's set up as it stands and historically how it has been. What it is, it's a way to distribute the benefit of the lease extension between yourself and the freeholder, because the argument is that neither the leaseholder nor the freeholder alone could generate this extra value. It's done in conjunction and it's a result of your interests marrying. Marriage value doesn't just affect the cost of a lease extension, though. There are other impacts to consider. It can fundamentally cripple your ability to sell or even get a mortgage on your own property. If you're selling and your lease is getting close to 80 years, or if it's already dipped below, then a lot of buyers will be put off. And why is that? It's for a couple of reasons. One, they'll know that they'll face a hefty lease extension bill. Secondly, your property becomes much harder to sell and you'll likely have to accept a lower price, and mortgage lenders take that into account. So a shorter lease, a buyer won't be able to get a mortgage on either. Possibly you might even struggle remortgaging yourself. So looking at that mortgage perspective, they're wary of short leases just because it's harder to sell on the open market. It costs more to extend the lease, and they know that other lenders aren't lending on it, and they all tend to therefore follow suit. You will find some that will go on a slightly lower lease length than others, but in general, when you get under 70 years, you're going to really struggle. Under 80 years, more lenders take themselves out of the market, and longer leases, you're going to be fine with most lenders that are out there. You might find, as I said, this not only impacts your buyers, but if you've got a mortgage on the property yourself, then you may struggle with remortgaging. So it's something to consider even if you're not thinking about selling. If you ignore the mortgage value, it's effectively like burying your head in the sand, pretending it's a problem that's going to go away, when in reality, unless the law changes, which may come, but it's not here imminently, it's a problem that you need to deal with. What it can do, it can freeze your property in the market. It can mean that you can't sell. It can make it a financial burden rather than a nice home and a nice asset or a nice place to live and carry on living throughout your years. So what can you do? The answer generally is simple. You're going to want to act early. You can extend your lease before it drops below 80 years if you're already at that higher leasehold threshold. This is the golden rule, as I mentioned. That 80-year cutoff is key, and lease extensions take time to go through. So don't wait for it to get to that 80. Sort of run the risk, get it extended sooner if you can. And get professional advice on this. You could speak to a solicitor or surveyor or someone like ourselves who understand lease extensions and leasehold ownership. In general, though, it is a process that you can take on yourself, and have a video about what a sort of Section 42 notice is, which is a good starting point for a lease extension. This isn't normally a DIY job. You'll want to work with some consultants along the way. Second thing, if you don't know it already, you're going to want to understand your current lease length. Make sure you get a copy of your lease out, or ask the solicitor to help you buy the property. Knowing this number is your sort of first step into then looking at what options you can have. And then finally, I've mentioned this already, being proactive, acting early is key. Extending the lease, it protects your property's value, it ensures its marketability, it ensures that you can live there and continue your enjoyment of it if you're not choosing to sell at the moment as well. So to sum it up, marriage value is a fundamental aspect of leasehold ownership in the UK. It's unavoidable. It's not just a technical legal term. It can have a real impact on you as a homeowner, both financially and also sort of stress-wise and emotionally as well. By understanding what it is, which hopefully you do now, when it applies and how to manage it, you can protect your investment, ensure a smooth future for your flat, living there and also selling it. Hopefully this video cleared things up about marriage value. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I will try and answer as many as we can. If you found this video helpful, please just give it a thumbs up, give it a like. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, there'll be more information coming out, which is essential for short lease property owners and also just leasehold information in general. Remember, if you're looking to buy or sell a flat with a short lease, we absolutely specialize in that. We can be your sort of expert advice at any stage of the process. We're here and we're happy to help. You can get in touch with the website. I'm going to put a link in the description below, and equally you can just reach out to us directly on the phone or leave comments on here, as I mentioned. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.